only a moment, yeah, an instant made of madness. More than a feeling, we both could not resist. For nearly a stranger, I knew it when I met you. You are my number one, and only fill my heart with true emotion in my devotion. Yes, it was automatic. This is the Community Solutions Podcast. Jason Bradley, Andrew Richter from deep in the bowels of our underground lair where we're wielding more authority than Joe Biden's auto pen. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing El Terrifico, as they say in Espanol.
That is, I think, what they say in Espanol.
Isn't it, though?
I'm sure it is. El Terrifico. Absolutely.
Something like that. I don't know. El Terrifico, that does sound pretty good, don't it?
Yeah, a donut would sound pretty good. We've been gone a little while.
Yeah, I mean, it's the summer. Come on, Jay, we got to, we got to change things up a little bit, take a little vacation. Come on.
Oh, maybe you took vacation.
Well, I don't take many, but I may have taken a slight one here.
Yeah.
Look, my anniversary of my wife's birthday coinciding with July 4th.
Yeah.
That's the time, obviously, to go take some stuff. Now, the song,
yes.
I know the song. It is Janet Jackson.
No.
It was not?
No.
She wasn't. What was? No, yeah, Whitney Houston.
No. I know what song you're thinking of, but it's not that one. I got to look up who is that now because I can hear it in my head. There's an 80s song. And
yeah, it's the Jets or something. I don't know.
No, is it the Pointer Sisters? No, it wasn't Pointer Sisters. Da, 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 feeling automatic. I know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was the Pointer Sisters, 1983. Okay. Is that the one you're thinking of?
I think so, but I didn't know it was the Pointer Sisters. I knew it was somebody. I guess Whitney Houston could be further from the Pointer Sisters. But
there's no way to control it. It's totally automatic.
So that's not it?
Whenever you're around. That one, right? That's what you're
thinking that
of?
Was bad, though.
Yeah, that was bad. That's not the one that I chose. You won't get this one. I'm sorry. It was a difficult one.
Okay. Well, then enlighten me.
The name of the song is Automatic. The name of the band is Lavara, or it was. They broke up. The guitar player in this band is the son of the guitar player in the band Toto, who also did a lot of the lead stuff on Michael Jackson's Thriller and Bad.
I Miss the Rains in South Africa, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
That's the guy, yeah. Yeah, Trev Lukather, his dad is Steve Lukather.
Is that Lex Luthor? Lex Luthor, is that his dad?
Lex Lukather.
That's the wrestler, right? Lex Luthor? Whatever, right. Same difference.
Anyways, really, really good song from a band that had a lot of promise that came out within the last 5 years, and then there were some issues in them getting signed.
Yoko Ono part of that or something? Yeah, Yoko Ono part of that deal?
Might have been.
She's still around?
I don't know. If
she's got to be 80 or 90 if she's still around, right?
She's still around, yeah.
All right. Somebody in the peanut gallery out there can look that up for us.
Yeah.
We got stuff to talk about, but Jay, we haven't done history lesson in quite a while.
And with good reason.
But I'm going to tell you something. That we're going to do a year that you were alive.
Oh, that usually doesn't help.
It'll be late grade 1998.
Wow. I was not only alive, but cognizant that I was alive.
The year I turned 21.
Oh.
Jay, we're going to start in the world of politics.
Okay.
You tell me, what happened when? January 17th, 1998, in the world of politics.
Ooh, 1998. Well, January 17th. Well, that's not a presidential year, so it's not an inauguration.
That's right. You've missed that a couple times. And it's not January 20th.
No. No, it is not.
This has to do with the president, though.
It does, huh? So the president at the time, obviously, is
wah.
right.
Don't you forget me now. Don't you forget me now. No, Hillary forgets me all the time.
Yeah. This would have been something to do with Monica Lewinsky.
The day of the Monica Lewinsky story broke, January 17th, 1998. Okay. We're going to give you credit for that, even though I sort of led you to the right direction. 8 days later, January 25th, this happened in the world of sports, specifically football.
Yeah, well, that would be on that date. I believe that would be one of the championship games, not the Super Bowl, but the week. Actually, no.
You're getting warmer, Jay.
Am I?
When you said Super Bowl, you were very, very warm.
Oh, is it a Super Bowl? Because the Super Bowl moved to February in what year?
Oh, maybe 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
10, 12 years ago.
All right, because I thought it always took longer. That's right, because they added some
It was another game now, and they start they used to take a week between the Super Bowl. Now they take 2. It's crap.
Yeah, and the Pro Bowl was after the Super Bowl. Now it's before.
Yeah, it's the week in between.
Yeah. Okay, so if it was a Super Bowl in 1998, that is the year the Vikings should have went to the Super Bowl.
That would be the 99 Super Bowl, though, the year after.
Oh, yes.
Yep. So we're talking about the 97 regular season.
I always thought it was in 98, but I suppose because the season was in 98, that's why.
Yep.
For the 99
Super Bowl was in January of 99.
Can I even remember who was in there the year before that year?
You should remember.
Yeah, should I?
I think so.
Yeah. Was that Dallas?
No.
Oh,
You'd think
because that would be a question you would ask.
Exactly. That would be too easy.
Just self-serving. Who won the Super Bowl in each and every year Dallas won it?
January of 96.
Yeah. Yeah, that was not too long before then.
The last time they won the Super Bowl. How sad.
Yeah, maybe. Actually, this was, let me think, in that year, were the Patriots in that year with Drew Bledsoe?
Okay. They were in there in January of 97.
It's like my memory is
close.
Like it's all in there. It's just I stink at years.
The team that beat them was in the Super Bowl, though.
Okay.
Now that's got to help.
No, that I don't remember. It wasn't the Saints.
Who beat the? Okay, you're driving me crazy because you just can't. Okay,
I don't remember.
The answer. Is the Denver Broncos. I was in Las Vegas for this.
Yes.
Defeated the Green Bay Packers 31-24, the game where Elway got hit and twirled around at the goal line.
Yeah.
That was that game. So the first, and then Denver, of course, would beat Atlanta. The next year should have been the Vikings. And in my opinion, would have been one of the greatest Super Bowls ever.
Yes.
To see that John Elway, Terrell Davis team
take on Culpepper and Moss and Carter.
I really think that would have been. We're going to jump all the way to May. Yeah.
I just want to say in my defense that because the Packers were in it, I probably watched it, but I blocked it out of my memory because of my hatred for that team in the 90s.
Fair enough. Okay. Fair enough. We'll let that go. I'm going to fly all the way to May 29th.
Yes.
Famous death happened this day of a very, very because this is a tough one, so I'm going to give you a hint on this.
Okay. Very,
very famous conservative died on this day, May 29th, 1998.
1998. Let's see. Bob Dole had another 20 years in him at that point.
It was not Bob Dole.
Famous conservative. Gerald Ford?
Ford died in 2006. Not a bad guess.
Yeah. Wasn't Nixon, was it?
Nixon was 94. Isn't it terrible I know this stuff?
I've got the bookends now.
You are so warm, though.
Yeah.
So warm.
Spiro Agnew.
Okay.
He wasn't famous.
You're getting colder. You're getting cold.
Oh, boy. Goodness. I'm sure when
you are going to totally know it. Okay. You were so close. I gave you 3 guesses.
Yeah.
You're so close with Nixon and Ford. It was Barry Goldwater passed away. I was just like, keep rattling off presidential candidates. You'll get it. But Barry Goldwater dying May 29th. Of course, the author of Conscience of a Conservative, which almost is, for me, one of the most famous books ever. And I've read it. And I would encourage anybody to read it.
If we had only listened to Barry Goldwater, we wouldn't be in the problem we're in now.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. This famous, I guess, tragedy, if you will, happened on August 7th, 1998. You could call it a crime, but if I say what I really think it is, it'll give it away. But this was a very horrible tragedy happened on this day.
Yeah. It's not OJ. That was before then, because I remember watching the race, the Bronco race, when I was in college. The bombing of the World Trade Center the first time?
God, that's close. No, it was the African embassy bombings. See, I was going to call it a terrorist thing, but then I'd have given it away.
Right.
First World Trade Center bombing was in 1993.
93?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I was in college. I wasn't paying attention to a lot.
Of course you were.
It's like, how loud can I crank my radio and then play my bass along with it? And
Okay, I guess I can understand that. Yeah. Famous thing happened in baseball, September 8th, 1998.
September 8th. Well, that's still in the regular season.
It is.
Let's see. Famous thing.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a hint because this is hard. A famous record was broken September 8th, 1998.
Was that Big Papi?
Who's Big Papi?
David Ortiz.
No, it's not David Ortiz.
No, somebody hit more home runs before he did. It was Mark McGwire.
Mark McGwire breaks Roger Maris's record from 1961 with his 62nd home run. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to do one more for the sake of time here.
Okay.
November 3rd, 1998. This very, very famous thing happened in politics.
Oh. We were all getting ready for my birthday 2 days later.
That could have been, sure, but that's not exactly what I was looking for. But
okay. Well, it is election related.
It is It was election day,
and it's not presidential because it's 1998.
But it is not the Clinton impeachment. That was December 19th. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah. 1998. It would have been.
I'll give you a hint. This is when I give you a hint, it'll probably give it away.
Yeah.
But I have to give this hint.
It wasn't the whole Newt Gingrich contract for America.
Yeah, 94.
That was 94, yeah. Yeah, and then they didn't do a whole lot.
They did a few things.
Held Billy in check. 94 was that. 98 would have to be.
Okay. I'll give you a hint.
Yeah.
Who do you think my favorite person is? One of my top 5 people to impersonate is.
Bill Clinton.
Okay, he's in the top 5. Pick another one.
Okay. Jesse the Body. Oh, he was elected governor.
You know, when I was on the set of The Predator, Schwarzenegger came up to me and said, "Jesse, there's this part in my next movie called The Running Man that you're perfect for." So I inked The Running Man, and after that, I was a bona fide Hollywood star. So Jesse the Body. How about this? 2 more.
Yes.
Number 1 sitcom in 1998. You want to take a guess at that?
Oh, goodness.
Again,
would it still be Friends?
Friends is the correct answer.
Okay.
Yes. Friends ran from 94 to 2004, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 1 drama on TV.
ER.
ER is correct.
Wow.
I'd have guessed NYPD Blue. That was number 2.
Okay.
But ER, number 1.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
I watched a little bit of TV in my college days.
Could have never guessed that.
None of it happened to be news, apparently.
Well, you did better. You did gooder on this than on most other ones.
A lot of MTV and a little bit of...
Did you watch Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah, of course I did.
I watched the movie at the Mall of America. Beavis and Beatrice or whatever. Beavis and Beatrice and whatever it is. Watch that at the Beavis, you stink. Jay, many things have been happening. I got to start with this. I'd love to start with the big, beautiful butt crack, but we're just going to hold off on that for a second. Big, beautiful bill. There's some good and some not so great in it. We'll just say that straight up. But I got to start with this auto pen stuff. What do you make of the latest thing now is this? Now, I know that the president's ability to grant a pardon is pretty ironclad.
Yes.
I mean, I wish there were changes we could make. You know, I don't like it happening in the lame duck period. I don't like, but the idea now that it's come out now, you got to love the New York Times. They get a whole 10 minutes with Joe Biden. It must have been between diarrhea breaks or something. Okay. And he says, and I just, the lack of journalism, I just cannot understand. He apparently made every decision.
Yes.
Yet delegated at the same time, who would get a pardon by, quote, criteria.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how this isn't a bigger scandal, I'm scratching my head, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand why, because it doesn't have the name Trump on it. If it had Trump on it,
right,
it would be front page news everywhere. Biden doesn't sell. Trump does.
Right.
Just call it.
Well, I mean, look at all the health problems that Biden had. Not one mention of any of them. But the president's ankles get a little swollen, and he might have some bruises on his hands, which happens when you get around 80 years old. If you're taking aspirin and things like that, and it's he's sick. He's on his deathbed. Not one mention of Biden.
But here's the thing. This whole idea of a preemptive pardon, this whole idea of auto penning criteria, that we're just going to submit a list of names of people who, I don't know what the criteria was, no one will tell us, and we're just going to mass auto pen all of it. I challenge this because I keep thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, I really don't want this to end up in the courts, but it's going to end up there because I don't really like them they're not designed to settle disputes like this. They're designed to interpret law. Right. And yet they've become sort of the final arbiter of everything. You don't like something, sue. You don't like something, take it to the courts. Yeah. And that's we should be passing legislation is what we should be doing.
Yes.
But where does this go from here? If this is allowed, if the president can delegate his duties. And I still question auto pen with legislation, because remember what the Constitution says, the president's signature.
Right.
Okay? So I think there is a constitutional question there. But how does this get challenged, Jay? I mean, does this have to come from Pam Bondi in the Justice Department? Does this have to come from Congress? Does this have to come... Where do you even begin? We're in uncharted territory here.
I think it has to come through Congress. I think they have to do the they have to do the research. They have to do the depositions. They have to haul people in before them to testify
under oath.
And then if they figure that there's a crime there, then they can refer that to the Justice Department. And I think that's how it has to go. That's kind of how the system is designed. Or a grand jury, I suppose, can be convened.
But what's the crime, though?
I don't know. That's.
I mean, it may be disgusting politically. I'm not sure it's a felony. I don't know if anybody could have conceived of a president delegating the ability to pardon people.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, speaking of that, we've seen the same thing, with the president's doctor getting hauled in.
Right.
The guy with that horrible haircut. God. I mean, I'll tell you what, Linus and Charlie Brown ought to be happy compared to that guy's haircut. He ought to get his medical license just revoked for that. But again, we have a legal question. He goes in front of the Comer's commission there, and once again gets asked very simple questions, and pleads the fifth and pleads doctor-patient privilege.
Yeah,
which is insane. I'm sorry, this isn't a courtroom.
Yeah,
why does doctor-patient privilege apply here? This isn't a courtroom.
Yeah, it's not, and I think we have a right to know the state that our president is in. I mean, that's a matter of national security.
Not only that, but we need to know whether he lied to us, which he clearly did, about he pronounced him in March of 2024 fit for office, which is totally absurd, totally ridiculous. So he's either a liar or he's incompetent, one of the two.
Yeah.
Okay, because he was asked point blank by James Comer, did anyone tell you to lie about Biden's health? He pleads the fifth.
Yeah.
Now, Jay, let me ask you a question. If I asked you, hey, did somebody tell you to kill somebody yesterday?
Yeah.
If nobody did, wouldn't you just say no?
Yeah.
So why doesn't he just say no if no one did? Makes no sense.
It doesn't.
Now,
make
look,
sense,
you got the right to plead the fifth. I'm not saying you don't, whether it's a good look for you or not.
Right.
It's something different. But I don't understand it. If nobody did it, then why don't you just say no?
Yeah.
And I don't know what crime. Look, I think we're never going to get to the bottom of this. He's going to have to be given immunity or something.
Yeah.
Because then he's going to have to talk.
Right.
He's going to have no choice. I mean, you're going to face contempt if you don't. He's going to have no choice but to talk. But I continue to be mesmerized at how dumb the Biden White House was and remains to this day, even though they're not there. And they really haven't been. Well, Trump's really been the president since November, if you want to be honest about it.
Right.
Biden wasn't the president at all. So, I mean, but how dumb they continue to be. The truth will come out at some point. And it's better to rip a Band-Aid off than to the mainstream media is sinking faster than you could possibly sink.
Yep.
This story's not going away. And I just continue to be baffled at the stupidity. It's like my leaders can't be this dumb. It's one thing to disagree with them. It's another thing. Look, I disagreed a lot with Barack Obama and a lot with Bill Clinton. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they were incapable of doing the job. I didn't like the job they did.
Yeah.
But this is I can't think. You know what amazes me? looking back on this Biden White House, how did Watergate ever bring a president down?
I know. I mean, that seems insignificant
Watergate
compared to...
You ask the average person what Watergate was, they can't explain it.
No.
Neither can I. I really can't either. I mean, I know what happened, but I can't explain it.
Right, but
that
all of
brought
this
down
stuff,
a president?
It doesn't bring down a president. Just to touch on that auto pen thing again to bring some clarification. Constitutional precedent for pardons. The Constitution grants the president the power to grant reprieves and pardons, but does not require them to be handwritten or even written. This has been supported by guidance from the Solicitor General in 1929 and a Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals ruling in 2024 regarding auto pen signed pardons. Distinction between signature and decision. The legality hinges on the difference between authorizing the physical act of signing, which can be done with an auto pen, and delegating the decision-making process itself. And I don't know how they prove that the decision-making process was delegated. That's a hard one.
Wow.
Yeah.
I still think, though, that somehow this has to get challenged. It just has to, because we can't.
Even if it's likely not to be overturned, I think you have to challenge it so that you have legal precedent.
I just wonder how you do it.
Yeah. You have to have somebody willing to talk to say, oh, he was nowhere near when we were talking about this. Biden was in bed 5 hours before we started talking pardons.
There was some talk about how he was in Washington when the auto pens were used sometimes. Like, well, why if he's there is an auto pen being used?
Yeah.
One thing, if he's in at a NATO conference and you need to, it's national, whatever, hemorrhoids awareness month. Okay. But, it's totally different if he's there and the auto pen is being used. Why?
Exactly. There's some talk about like his mental acuity and things like that. Well, if you haven't exercised the 25th Amendment, he is still the president and still has the authority.
Yes, and I'm going to tell you the 25th Amendment is something that needs reform too. That needs to be looked at, because the idea that the vice president and the cabinet are the ones that are supposed to pull the trigger on this. The president's their boss.
Yeah.
There could be recriminations. There could be a vice president who's ambitious, wants to take the president's place.
Yeah.
There could be, I just don't trust that process. I mean,
but
I don't know what process I trust.
Look what they tried to do when Trump was president the first time. You want to put that in Congress's hands?
No, and I don't know. I don't want to put it in, I hate doctors. I don't want to put it in their hands either.
Yeah.
Doctors are slime. I mean, I don't want to put it. You want Fauci to make decisions like this? No way. I just don't know. I don't know what the answer could be not to elect 80-year-olds. I mean, that could be the answer too. But I mean, look at it this way. I mean, like a good example was when President Garfield was shot. Now, this was long before the 25th Amendment, but I think it took almost 2 months for him to actually die.
Right.
And Vice President Arthur didn't feel like he could assume the role. The cabinet, of course, the government was a lot smaller back then.
Right.
Kind of took over the day-to-day. Secretary of State James Blaine, he was basically the acting president.
Yeah.
In a way. And so I don't know. What do you do in that? Who makes the call that the president can't perform their duties? You can't rely on the person themselves.
No.
To give it up. So who makes that call? And I just don't know that the vice president's going to pull that on the president. I mean,
depends, I guess. There are adversarial relationships.
Sometimes, I mean, it does happen, but I think you do have a little bit of rivalry there. But I also think a lot of vice presidents are real loyal, and they're just not going to.
Yeah,
just
true.
So I don't know. And I don't know that the cabinet, I mean, what if the president recovers and fires everybody that tried to get rid of them. I don't know. I can understand how somebody would kind of be, I don't want to be the one to raise my hand and do that. Right. I mean, you'd like to think for the good of the country people would, but we all know that doesn't happen in Washington.
Yeah.
So the 25th Amendment is very deeply flawed. It's well intended, but it needs serious talking about. And I don't know. I don't know how to do this. I mean, maybe there should be a requirement that like President Trump's like offering to take a cognitive test like every day, and it's just like, but I mean, maybe there needs to be, I don't want to put an age limit on it unless you put an age limit on everybody, Congress included. I mean, I saw Dianne Feinstein get wheeled in on a gurney on her deathbed to vote for something, practically. I don't know. I don't know what
maybe we need to put it in the hands of somebody who doesn't have a vested interest, like the governor of Guam. Maybe that would be.
They got no grudge that we lord and master over them. Yeah. They're basically a colony. We don't call it that, but that's what they are.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I could get down with that, I think, maybe.
Yeah. It's far enough away. It's not like Puerto Rico where they're all terribly liberal.
Yeah, they're too close. Yeah. Too close anyway.
Right. American Samoa. Maybe we'll take the governors of American Samoa and Guam and form.
We need a tiebreaker. We need a tiebreaker. Who's that going to be?
Greenland.
Greenland. We love Greenland.
We don't even own it yet, but that's all right. Yeah. It's coming.
We could retake the Philippines, and they could decide.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's a mess. Continues to be a mess. The media still has not come to grips with their role. Probably isn't going to.
Yeah.
So again, my prediction, it'll be entertainment for quite a while.
Yes.
All right, Jay. We've spent some time talking about the big, beautiful bill.
Oh, it's big and it's beautiful.
And it's mooey pages, as they say in some other line. Mooey, many pages.
Yes.
The more pages, the worse, as far as I'm concerned. And I didn't like it, didn't like the process. Not unhappy with some of the results, but not jumping up and down doing a victory lap, although sometimes you just have to take what you can get. There's a few things that stayed in there I wanted out. I was hoping the Senate would reform them, and at the end of the day, the Senate improved the bill. That's true. And I rarely say that about the Senate. Usually the Senate makes everything worse.
Yes.
But I think we have to credit a handful of guys, Mike Lee being one, Ron Johnson being another, and there's a handful of others that forced some changes, forced them down the House's throats, conceded on a couple points that I'm not wild about, especially the SALT stuff.
Yeah.
Which the Senate wanted taken out of there, and it didn't happen. They wanted the Green New Deal stuff accelerated, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
The repeal of that. But overall, your impressions of the big, beautiful bill, which I'd have done in about 4 different pieces. I'll get to that in a sec.
Yeah.
But Jay, what do you think?
The immigration part of it was necessary. I think that needed to happen, and that's the only way that we were going to get it.
The 2 parts.
Yeah.
The Trump tax cuts permanent and the immigration were the 2
those were great. Those had to be there. They had to happen. And so that they're now permanent and that the immigration piece is now in place. That's great. Now, there were parts that weren't so good, right? Now, the other thing we got to remember, it's not an appropriations bill. So, any additional,
can be amended and changed.
It can be, because none of this is the House opening and closing purse strings. This is not a budget. This is not an appropriations bill. This is merely,
we're just keeping the funding going here.
Yeah.
Reconciliation. Yeah.
So, But there are things in there, like you said, with the Green New Deal stuff not getting tossed out immediately. I don't understand what Republican wants to keep those things in, and I don't get that at all.
Okay, the answer that I have gotten and I've heard the most, and again, I think it was a handful of members in the House and Senate. I think 85% of them wanted it gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think the answer was we're going to give these industries that have started up and used the tax credits a period of time where they're going to lose them. It's like, okay, you're going to lose them in 2 years, not tomorrow, but you prepare that these credits or these whatever they are, however it's structured, by 27 or 28 won't be there. So the answer was we're going to give the industry time to, we're not going to shock them. We're going to let it phase out is the answer that now, I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm saying that was, I think Republicans, 95% of them wanted to get rid of it some way, shape, or form. The question was how. And that's how it was able to pass, was to now the danger of this is, well, what happens when we get there and the Republicans aren't in charge anymore?
Right.
You know, how does that work? So are they going to follow through with all those cuts in that next budget? I think they'll follow through with some. My guess is that not all will go. I just know Washington. And they'll, to get somebody's vote or to make a deal, you know, especially if the Democrats take over one house, which I think is fairly unlikely, but possible. I think a deal will be made at that point, but I do think a lot of them are going to end up going. I really do.
Yeah.
But it's, again, phasing it out is kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of like a fart in church. It's not a great victory. It's not one I'd be jumping up and down about.
I mean, I can live with a sunset period. I mean, these people know that it's coming, and the tide is against a lot of this stuff. You know, the EV mandates are gone. The funding's going away.
Right, and that's a good thing. It's very unpopular within the auto industry. The workers, stuff, they do not like that. The auto companies really don't like it either because it's forcing them to invest in things that people don't want. At the same time, they're all taking the tax credits.
Of course they are.
So it's kind of but again, that's the argument for phasing it out. Again, that's what ended up happening to get the bill, to get it passed. So, again, not a total victory, but President Trump made those promises, and as best he can, he's not in Congress. So, I mean, he's following through on it as best he can.
Not one Democrat crossed over.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at that, though. I'm really not, because here's the thing. This is that, and I was going to get to this later, but this is the number one reason I did not want one bill, because I want the Democrats to take some really uncomfortable votes that they're going to have to answer for in 20. See, I'd have done it in 4 parts. This may have taken all year, but I really wanted the Dems to have to vote on some stuff up or down.
Yeah.
The Trump tax cuts from 17, yay or nay? That's it. We could have done that in February.
Yeah.
Okay, and chose not to, but that would have been a tough vote for those Democratic senators in Georgia, in Arizona, in Nevada. You might have gotten some movement in the House, too. You know, are you going to vote for the largest tax increase in the history of the country and have that around your neck?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they would have gotten Democrats to vote for that. Not many in the House, maybe 20, maybe 25. They could have gotten.
They don't need a lot.
They don't need any. But, you know, it would have been nice to put Democrats on the record. Democrats now can vote against the big, beautiful bill, citing 20 things they don't like. You know, I think you'd have seen a lot of the senators up next year probably voting for it, or Fetterman voting for it. I could have seen they might have gotten to 60 votes with that.
Yeah.
I think then I would have passed the funding for the border stuff. the stuff that was necessary to again fulfill the promises that were made. And again, that would have been a tough vote for a lot of Democrats. It would have been really tough for Democrats in Arizona and Texas, and even the non-Congresswoman Crockett's. It would have been a very tough vote. If you're in a lean blue district, immigration's a 80-20 issue right now.
It is.
The public is totally on Trump's side on this.
Yeah.
In fact, the majority of Americans want all of them deported.
Yeah.
So it's not just the criminals. So it's not just it's the Democrats know that. That's why they try to avoid taking a stand. That's why they blur the line between legal and illegal immigrants. Then I would have done two other things. I would have taken the new tax cuts.
Yes.
No taxes on tips, which is the compromise. It's up to $25,000. The no tax on Social Security, the no tax on overtime. I think that's limited to. There's a limit on that too that you can deduct.
No tax on car loan interest.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that.
There's a $6,000 deduction for individuals over age 65.
Yeah, that's the Social Security. Yeah. It works as a deduction off your AGI. But the point being that, and that's federal, I should say, state of Minnesota is still taxes, Social Security, taxes, tips.
Right.
So watch that when you do your taxes next year. But, and then the fourth thing I'd have done is it would all been about cuts. Everything would be a whole bill of cuts. And I would have thrown in the Department of Education. I would have thrown in the Green New Deal. I'd have thrown in USA Aid. I'd have thrown in no money to sanctuary cities. I'd have thrown in no money going overseas. I would have done it'd have been a whopper of it, and it all wouldn't have passed. But at least we would have had a fair debate on it. And at least there would have been something out in the open. Democrats don't want to cut anything.
Right.
Nothing. They won't support anything. That would have been a Republican-only bill, but I think standing alone, I still think it would have been better because, you'd have put the Democrats in some tough spots and some tough bills. It'd have been very tough on the tax and immigration stuff. I don't know how they would have. I know how the AOCs would have voted, but I don't know about some other ones. And the cuts, I think, would have had a full debate, not throwing it all in another bill. Now, look, the Tom Masseys of the world, they're not going to vote for anything, so they're worthless. But everybody else you can. And I want to keep voices like Congressman Massey in the party. I think that's important. But you're never going to – you could let him write the bill and he'd still vote against it. He's trying to be the new Ron Paul. So, I do think, though, that at some point you just have to take a win, and I think the Republicans were smart to take a win. Now, there's a whole lot more to do here,
right? And
this is my worry that we're going to stop doing this stuff. We should have, stuff going on tomorrow to keep going on this.
Well, they are working on the $94 billion in cuts.
Yeah.
and Chip Roy seems pretty sure it's going to get through.
$94 billion?
Yeah, I know it seems like nothing, but
well, are you talking about the DOGE stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, that already got codified in the House, didn't it?
Yep. The Senate needed to make a change to it, but it sounds like something that they're going to be able to live with in the House. So
okay, well, that's important. I can't dismiss that. I think dismantling the education department has to come next. Another 1,400 employees got the heave ho a couple of weeks ago,
and the Supreme Court said that was okay.
Yeah, they did. I still think it will take a act of Congress to abolish it. Yeah. But yes, Trump is the head of the department. How can you argue somebody's entitled to jobs?
Yeah. You can.
Isn't he the person that decides who he? I mean,
but haven't they tried to do that at every level though? Like even for churches and businesses that are run by Christians. Oh, you have to hire people that are diverse. You have to hire LGBTQ people.
They've tried that because
the Democrats think people do have a right to a job wherever they want one.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's 5 million job openings in this country right now, and I think there's going to be a lot more pretty soon.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of opportunity. You're just not looking at the right place in my book. So,
coming on Saturday, somebody will get a job so they can make me a sandwich.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say this. I mean, I don't know if you saw the economic news a couple of weeks ago regarding the jobs and lowering of inflation to 2.1%. What's the deal with, in your opinion, what's the deal with Trump and Jerome Powell? I mean, I love the speech Trump gave where he said, because of one numbskull, we can't. But I think there's so much anger at the Fed. The Fed is so unpopular.
Yes.
Trump's leading the populist movement. I mean, hey, I'm doing everything I can. This guy's screwing you, and I want him gone. I think he's trying to I think he wants to test whether he can fire him, which is questionable. Or force. Yeah, I don't think he can either, but I think he wants to test that.
Yeah, I mean, the interest rates, it's so hard because with the level of debt that we have and we've talked about this before on this show where the Fed is starting to buy its own debt because there's not enough people out there to do it. Well, there have been some people that have, I guess, been buying some of our debt, but necessarily, like, when people aren't buying the debt, that causes a need for interest rates to go up in order for try and kickstart that a little bit. But Trump wants to lower it because he wants more cash to come in.
Yeah.
And so you need to lower the interest rates.
There's 3 things that have to happen. Okay. One, and it's already happening, the economy is doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Trump is bringing, the fundamentals of the economy are pretty solid.
Yeah.
Unemployment, I mean, the old way, I guess you'd look at the economy, the way the geeks would do it.
Right.
Not necessarily the way I would do it, but, unemployment's at 4.1%.
Yeah.
Inflation's at 2.1%.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the lowest numbers we've seen since Trump's first term.
Right.
So in Trump's mind, he's probably looking at that going, what the hell? I mean, we got all this investment that's coming in the country. We've got all these job openings. What's holding things back? But I think it's 2 things. 3. One of them's already been solved, which is the tax issue. I think that not knowing that, I think everybody assumed it would get done.
Yeah.
But not having that resolved. Now that that's resolved, that's big.
Yes.
2, I think, is the trade. I think there is still a wait and see on the deals, whether or not tariffs stay in place, whether or not some of the cost gets passed off onto us, whether other countries cry uncle, which they're slowly doing, but it's like no one wants to be the first one to give Trump a big win.
Right.
It's like, I think Trump is right. I think fundamentally, I think he's right, but I do think it's been sort of, I know how people with money react, and they're very knee jerk, and then they kind of come back. That's what we keep seeing, this up and down a little bit. And then I think the third thing that has to happen is you've got to reduce government spending. If you're going to sit and print money and print money and print money, okay, we're not going to grow our way out of this the way we did in the 90s. It can't happen. I know some people around Trump think it can, but I don't think it can. You got way more people on Social Security and on Medicare. We haven't touched these programs. We've actually made it worse. Obamacare, Medicaid Part D, we've made it worse, the dependence on those things. You've got the baby boomers all retired. Now, you're not going to grow your way out of it. Growing will help. You get less people on public assistance, more people working, more people paying taxes. There is some truth to that, but I think you've got some dynamics that are there and some that aren't. And I think the Republicans, again, they missed a chance to significantly cut the budget. They cut the budget some.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna grow your way out, and until you get rid of the need for printing money, I don't know how you can. How do I put this? All these elements are important. I mean, let's just be blunt about it. It's all important.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the Fed's thinking. They're always late. They're always reactive instead of proactive, which is legit criticism. But if you ultimately want interest rates and inflation to go down, you got to stop printing money. More money into the economy, more money being generated by capitalism is different than more money being printed. I guess that's what I'm saying. So, I don't know. I don't know what the Fed's thinking. I mean, I don't know. They've set criteria after criteria and then haven't followed through.
Right.
But again, they're reactive, not proactive. They raised interest rates too late, and now they're lowering them too late. But here's the big thing, though, Jay, that I think could be a wild card. One of the things is affordability. And if things were cheaper and more goods are bought and sold, isn't that, in theory, another good thing that could help the economy as well?
Yeah.
I mean, you got kids who can't afford. I mean, I would say to a politician, hey, you know what? There's a 25-year-old who working full time can't afford to buy a house. What are you going to do about that?
Yeah.
But it's important. If you don't own things, then you have nothing to lose.
Yeah, I mean, my middle son was talking about that recently. He would love to buy a house, doesn't know if he'll ever be able to afford to, and that's sad.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's horrid. Is that what we're going to be, a nation of renters?
Well, they'd love that.
Well, unfortunately, they would. The elite class would.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, you're serfs.
Yes.
It's ultimately what you are, you're serfs.
Right. Everybody lives in these smart cities and the
communal.
Everybody's 5 minutes away from.
Yeah, everybody shares everything, blah, blah, blah. That's you're probably right. It's probably true.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, with the economy, a lot of important things that are coming down right now. I don't know if you've looked at the Genius Act at all, and that's something that we're maybe going to have to talk about a little bit, because it's like the creation of a U.S. stable coin, where the difference between that and having like a digital U.S. dollar that's backed, by the U.S. government, the difference is that this would be tied more to the dollar, so that it's a 1-for-1 ratio.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
The one thing we have to make sure, though, is that there's no tracking mechanisms within the stable coin, because that was the whole deal with the digital dollar that they were looking at, was you would be able to put mechanisms in there to, Fatty's buying a chocolate bar, we can't allow that, so we're going to cut him off. Those are... those kind of things should never be in as oversight. You, as a government, don't have a right to control what I buy
Here's the issue, though.
What I sell things for.
Here's the issue, though.
Yeah.
How much control? You're talking about monetary policy. The Fed runs monetary policy.
Yeah.
Just if they want to go to a digital dollar,
I don't know. I know Trump put out
he hates it.
He put out
his entire Howard Lutnick's gone off on tangents about it. I know he's a crypto guy, but
right.
Which I actually think is I'm bearish on crypto right now, because I think Trump will strengthen the dollar, especially in trade.
Although he's talked about doing like Bitcoin reserves.
Yes, he has.
So
I mean, there are alternatives to that. I think it might be a good long-term thing, but I'm bearish about it in the short run, because a stronger dollar, why was it so good under Biden? Because he destroyed the dollar.
Right.
What's crypto? What's Bitcoin? What's silver and gold? They're alternatives to the dollar. I mean, if you want to put it in basic economic terms, that's what they are.
But we've also got to watch, because the BRICS countries were just meeting.
Yeah.
And they're actually putting into place a system that will rival where people are able to trade in their own local dollars, and then where there's not like a standard like world reserve currency, and so they're looking to undermine the U.S.
Can the
dollar
BRICS
that way.
countries though pull that off without the big players?
I don't know because
I think if they could, they would have done it already.
Yeah, I mean, in BRICS, I mean, you've got Brazil, who isn't really very strong. I mean, they're maybe a second world country bordering on a third world country because there's so much poverty.
The elites have all the money.
Yeah, Russia, they're not doing so hot.
Russia's really
India's
weak.
doing really well. I mean, but they also, Modi loves Trump.
Right,
so
they're pro-American on a lot of stuff.
I don't know that they're willing to pull the trigger on this right now under Trump. China is a lot weaker than we think it is. It has a lot of financial problems. Its economy is not in good shape. And then South Africa, which is just a mess. That country is in really bad shape.
But of course,
right
it's
now.
also why they're all talking to each other. They can't live on their own.
Well, yeah.
It's like how the European Union get created.
Yeah.
Because they're a bunch of socialist countries whose
Right.
economies are failing.
Right. I mean, India might be the strongest country out of all the BRICS nations.
No question. I mean, China just because of its sheer amount of people,
Yeah,
but
a lot of the manufacturing though is leaving China and going to places like India and Vietnam and places like that.
South
Plus,
Korea.
a lot of service industry, like your phone service, customer service. You have some of that going there. Some's in the Philippines.
I wish it was in Texas.
Yeah.
I may as well just figure it out by myself.
I don't know. If it was in Texas, I know Texans I have trouble understanding.
Okay.
Better than Louisiana. I'll say that.
There's a little truth to that.
There's no Cajun.
Even worse is North Dakotian. I mean,
Yeah.
there is some.
I can understand that. Plenty good. That'd be fine.
Putting ear done over there. All right. So, the dynamics of the economy are just whack. They're just whack. Again, affordability is the thing that I keep coming back to, and the high interest rates are just killing the middle class.
Yeah.
And, I know that we got to give the tax cuts a chance to work. I think they will, but
Yeah.
we've been sitting here waiting on. I mean, you know what I think is a real big key, and it's another slow mover. Although Trump has done everything, here's another place where Congress needs to act, is in energy. I mean, it's not just going out and getting oil.
Right.
And it's not, it's nuclear. It's updating our grids.
Yes.
We can't exist without electricity, and if I'm a terrorist, I don't have to go bomb anybody. I just knock out an electrical grid, and you can't use your fridge. You can't drive a car. You can't, we'd halt
Yeah.
as a nation, So, I think that the energy part, and we need to codify this stuff so a future president can't just go in and make an executive order and reverse this stuff.
Right.
That's been happening. But Doug Burgum was on, I can't remember what program it was, and I really like how President Trump is letting his cabinet be more visible. I really think that he's got a better team, obviously, here in the second term. There's no Mike Pompeo's, there's no people like that. But I like the he's got some really articulate people working for. Doug Burgum's one of the best. I mean, he's a very knowledgeable on the Interior Secretary, but he's extremely knowledgeable on almost every part of that. North Dakota obviously has been a big state for it.
Yeah.
And he's got some really good people working for him now, and it's very different in 2.0 as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. And you always want to see the people that are working behind the scenes, it's never just a president working alone. And if we had actually been able to see what a lot of Biden's people, not that their cabinet ever met, but those people were still working behind the scenes and trying.
The people we did see were all pretty bad.
Yes,
I still could picture Janet Yellen sitting there going, it's all transitory. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Alejandro Mayorkas claiming that the border was under control.
Yeah.
Well, literally, Fox News would show pictures of the border and people running across as he was testifying. It was just stupid. Pete Buttigieg, he was as unqualified to run a department as I'm more qualified to run a department than he is.
Yeah.
He got the job because he was gay. Can we just say it straight out?
Yeah.
He's mayor of South Bend, Indiana. Nobody knows South Bend, Indiana if it wasn't for Notre Dame.
And he was terrible at that job.
Yeah, no kidding. God. The fact that he's a leading contender in 2028 is just great. It's just hilarious. So what happens if he wins? Does he have the first? Is it him and his husband? Who's the first man of the country? I don't want to find out. No. I really just don't.
No, I really don't.
But getting back to Trump, I mean, Scott Bassett, I think, is great. Like I said, Howard Lutnick, I really like. I mean, there's just some really good people. Some aren't as good, but I'm willing to give them a chance to grow on the job.
I think Hegseth's been doing a good job.
Hegseth's been better than I thought he would be. I mean, I like Sean Duffy a lot. I think he's somebody with a future in politics if he'd quit having kids. Maybe doesn't he have like 8 or 9 kids or something? But maybe he would be. I think he's an exceptional choice. Just the idea Pete Buttigieg was the Secretary of Transportation just 6 months ago.
Yeah,
scary enough. So so back to the economy, Jay. I mean, I'd love to sit here. I'm a numbers guy. I always have been. But I don't know. What's GDP? I don't even know what that means anymore. It's sort of like...
It means gross domestic product.
Well, I know what it means, but it just means nothing to me. It's just kind of like, how's the economy doing? And you can cite all these numbers, and they're important. We've added almost 1 million jobs since President Trump took office, and that's going to go up. No doubt it's going to go up. It's because there's so many job openings, and you're going to get injected with the tax cuts.
Yeah.
But is there something because I still sit around and I think about affordability, and I think about the middle class, and I think about, I don't like to separate people based on how much money they make. I mean, to me, that's runs counter to everything I believe in. But affordability, inflation, you can call it populism if you want to. That's very real.
Yeah.
And what ultimately do you judge the economy on? You could be working and still not afford everything. So what do you measure it with?
I guess the only real way to measure it is when you're looking. I don't know. There's so many ways to look at it, but I think at the end of the day, if the consumer isn't in a good place, you have, you can look at all the Wall Street stuff. You can look at the banks. You can look at GDP. You can look at all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, if those numbers are good, but consumer confidence is at a place where people aren't spending money, or people aren't able to spend money because of interest rates or because of inflation, that your economy is not in a good place, because really the backbone of our economy is us being able to purchase the goods and services that we are hopefully manufacturing here and offering here. In my eyes, I mean, granted, if you have people buying a bunch of cheap crap from China and we don't have strong manufacturing, or the banking, like with the housing crash, I mean, you've got to have that stuff solid, right? But again, customer confidence kind of follows. It's a lagging indicator, I think, but it's a necessary indicator, because if the customer feels secure, the consumer feels secure in making purchases, that is because all the other things seem like they're solid.
Yeah, but again, I worry about how do you fix that, because mortgages just cannot keep going up.
No, they can't.
I mean, at some
House
point,
prices have to freeze at some point.
But the cost of everything, wages never keep up with it.
Right.
The average person's been getting poorer. I mean, $1 in 1998 buys 49 cents now.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's how much it's 78 cents in 2019.
Right.
I mean, that's how much it's a regressive tax.
Yeah.
That's what it ends up being. And I just don't know. If you look at housing, it's almost like it just does nothing but escalate. It just continues, and there's going to be a crash at some point.
Yeah. I mean,
we saw it coming. 20 years ago, we saw it coming. We did nothing about it.
Right. I mean, we really do need, unfortunately, it would be very painful, and I don't know the right way to do this, but to take some of the money supply out of circulation, thereby increasing some scarcity in the dollar supply, and then hoping that there's deflation because of that in products.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to do, though.
It's really hard
because
our living standard is so high.
But that's true. But the cost of living has exceeded our standard. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the definition of what we need has changed. I always believe that.
There's that too. I remember the 80s driving around, and you look at cars. There were a lot of rust buckets on the road. You don't see that so much today.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, the price is at the point where people are keeping their cars longer. They're starting to change.
Well, the interest is higher.
I know. I have. I mean, my wife's car is 9 years old, and we wouldn't have kept it that long 5 years ago.
Right.
It's like, no, I don't want to pay for a new one. Still looks good. Still working. If it was more affordable, we might.
Right.
But at some point, that's going to happen. This is the thing about housing. Do we get to a point where, look, we just can't afford it? We're not going to buy one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Where do you get to that? But I mean, I worry about that. Society that owns nothing has nothing to lose.
Right.
You own things, it's different. You got to have a stake in the country.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of stake.
Yes.
I'm going to pivot.
Okay.
What is going on? What is at stake in New York?
Oh, boy.
Now, look, that city's a hellhole. And I look, I have an admiration of New York the way it used to be. I've been there one time.
Yeah.
Okay, and I really do not want to go back unless I have Yankee tickets. But I mean, it was cool to see Times Square one time. It was cool to see the Statue of Liberty one time.
Yeah.
It's cool to drive over the Brooklyn Bridge. Would go. Only front row Yankee tickets would get me back there. Okay, I just don't care for this. I mean, I think it's cool to see Central Park.
Yeah.
But there's a admiration I have for New York going back a long, long, long time. And I am absolutely befuddled that the old center of capitalism, where the stock exchange is staring at what they're staring at come November.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance that a communist is going to be the mayor of New York, and
I'll tell you what,
blows my mind.
I think it's even it's a microcosm of the Democratic Party and what's happening to them all over the country. you're going to see this play out with AOC and Schumer. You're seeing it play out with this Mondavi and Andrew Cuomo. There's the old time Democrats that are, all right, you look, okay. Then there's the AOCs. Well, if you're not crazy, then we don't want you around.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the Cuomos and Schumers of the world will not Nancy Pelosi them.
Yeah.
Will not say, sit down, shut up, you 30-year-old bartender. I'm not scared of you.
Mm-hmm. Okay?
For some reason, they are held in prison by them. And I don't understand. Part of me says New York gets what it gets. They get what they deserve. They want to elect a communist. Huh? It's their fault that it happens. But for the good of the country, I don't want it to happen.
I don't want it to happen.
I don't like Andrew Cuomo very much, but the guy didn't grow up with Mao Zedong as his hero. Okay, so he's for all his faults. Okay, Andrew Cuomo's not a communist. All right,
no.
So Eric Adams is not a communist.
No,
not by any means. Not my favorite guy. Not the cleanest record or anything, but what happens in New York? Because to me, with ranked choice voting, which makes it even stupider, and with 31 people in the race or what? Okay, there's 4 real candidates. There's the Republican guy,
Curtis Sliwa.
I always forget his name. I like him. I see him on TV with his hat on and stuff. And Adams, the current mayor, who's left the Democrats basically kicked him out for complaining about immigration, then tried to indict him on the Turkish minister spent a night at a New York hotel or something. I don't even get it. Just coincided with him going public criticizing the Biden administration, by the way, which you guys are not allowed to do.
Be a little more transparent, why don't you?
Yeah. And then, of course, Cuomo, the former governor, who was basically forced out, and then his dad was the governor, and then you have this Mondavi guy,
Mad Manny, I call him.
Yeah, I mean, what do you see in that race? Do you see all those guys staying in? Curtis will stay in because there's no one. But do you think if Mayor Adams or Cuomo combined forces, that candidate would win?
Yeah, probably. I don't know if they will. I mean,
they don't seem to like each other very much.
Eric Adams is a sitting mayor of New York.
Yes.
I think that he probably thinks I have a right to run for this because I'm the sitting mayor of New York.
Absolutely.
And then you have Cuomo, who is, I think, pretty full of himself.
I think so too.
I think he's got a lot of pride, so I don't see him backing down either.
But a divided opposition helps Monet or whatever even more. I mean, if the Republicans vote for Curtis and the opposition, the Democratic opposition or lean left opposite, whatever you want to call it, divides the vote between Adams and Cuomo, probably slightly more going to Cuomo, that's advantage, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's without question. I think one-on-one, I think he can be beaten pretty soundly.
Yeah.
But I think with all those people in there, I don't know. I think that's pretty I think it's ugly.
Yeah.
How negative does the campaign get? Because you're going to have to go after this Mondavi.
Oh, yeah.
Cuomo didn't even go after him.
Yeah.
Of course, they can go after Cuomo, but he's
got lots of stuff to go
but he's
after.
a known quantity. It's kind of like running Bill Clinton. I mean, it's like, okay, he is who he is. We already know it.
Yeah. I mean,
Adams
ideally,
too.
you have a lot of PACs that are doing the dirty work, right? Super PACs and talking about this guy's Mamdani's communism. But
what do you make of the Mamdani getting some endorsements now? I mean, are you going to see Dems fall in line? You see Keem Jeffries runs away every time he gets asked about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Schumer won't answer the question either. He's been endorsed by a lot of the normal lefties.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I mean,
you see him with Bernie Sanders. You see him with AOC.
But I expect that.
Yeah.
I mean, just to do the Clintons and Obamas and people like that.
No.
What do they end up doing?
Because he's an Islamicist. He hates Jews. And so, for all of the Clintons' faults, they have not abandoned Israel. I mean, that's,
Sure.
That is one thing I can say about the Clintons.
And I will say, as of yesterday, no endorsement from Keem Jeffries, nothing from Chuck Schumer. They won't say anything. So there you go. But I tell you what, I mean, if I'm Kathy Hochul, I think is not endorsed him either. Of course, she's in World of Hurt. I think Ellie Stefanik will be the candidate against her. I think that'll be. I think she's. I don't know. I think Stefanik could win that.
You think so?
Well, if you look at Lee Zeldin's performance in 2022 with no money and with basically one issue and got 47% of the vote, you look at President Trump, who upped his percent in New York, I think 10% from 2020. I don't know. I think it's. I really don't want to lose her in Congress, but I think there's a real good. I think she's got a real good shot.
Yeah.
I think in a fair state, Stefanik would win by 20.
Right.
But in New York, it's I don't know. Does Kathy Hochul somebody that people run out to vote for? I don't know. I don't really
either.
see it.
Yeah,
but she's somebody not liked by anybody. I mean, the far left doesn't seem to like her either.
No.
And so I don't know. God, they'd be better. The Dems would be so much better off running somebody else. But who are you going to run? Like, again, New York is the epicenter of the Democratic Civil War. And the whole funny part about it is it's not about issues.
Right.
What are the issues? I mean, there are a couple, that separate Dems, like supporting Israel because there are Dems that do. I have to be fair. I mean, there are Democrats who, I think it's a shrinking number. I think there's very few John Fettermans, but I think there are issues that do separate them, but it seems to be more about age and generational and emotion. It seems to be more like it's like the David Hogg Jim Carville feud. They're just angry at one another because one's old and one's young. There's just no rhyme or reason for it.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, you have a civil war, but civil war is not about anything.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we've talked, Jay, since last year about the Dems being out in the wilderness. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. Their prospects of winning the House are shrinking every day. If you look at what the Republicans are doing, Michael Whatley, who's Trump's guy at the him and Laura Trump's not there anymore, but at the RNC, their cash on hand, which they never have the advantage on, is totally with the Republicans.
Yes.
The voter registration, 1 million. They have gained 1 million voter registration since Election Day.
Wow.
Across the country. Something Whatley put out that, of course, the mainstream media won't cover.
Right.
Is the Charlie Kirks and the people like that are doing that work, and the guy, I can't think of his name in Pennsylvania, but the Scott Pressler. I mean, they're doing the groundwork and they've got the plan, and then the Trump administration's totally in tune to the 26th election. Trump knows that Republicans lose the House. His last 2 years, they're going to do nothing but try to investigate him.
Yeah.
It's all designed to destroy JD. That's what it's all designed to destroy. And that's what's going to happen. And so, but I think their prospects are being hurt all the time. by their own stupidity. And I don't know how they turn it around. I mean, look, do I want the Democrats to win? No. But you know what? I want the Republicans on their toes.
Yeah.
I want the Republicans to earn this and not think they're entitled to office. That's how you end up with, you end up with the John Cornyn's of the world. I mean, there's just... I got to ask you one more question, Jay. Because, when I look ahead, you look ahead like to 26, 28, even 32. I wouldn't go out that far. What worries you electorally? What worries... Because I have a handful of states and regions that I'm confident in and a little trepidatious about.
Yeah. Minnesota worries me. I'll just
Minnesota,
start off with
of course,
that.
worries me.
Yeah, even with walls, it's like, the world sees who this guy is. Are we really going to let him win a third term?
I don't know.
But then I look at the people that are lining up against him. I mean, just today,
Jensen wants to get back in.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. You couldn't pull it off last time, and granted, he's been more damaged now.
If Jensen gets in, he needs a new game plan.
Yeah,
he needs different people around him. He needs to learn from that. You can look. Not everybody wins their first time. Yeah. I mean, it can happen, but
yeah. It's true. President Trump lost his second time and won his third. It happens.
Richard Nixon. I mean, there's just.
But can we overcome the voter irregularities here in Minnesota and make it fair?
I don't know if we can in 26. But again, it starts with a strong party.
Yeah.
It starts with the money. We don't have the money to fight it.
Yeah, but we have to, because if Walz wins and if the Democrats win the legislature, we are in so much trouble.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the only way that's not going to happen is with outside money.
Yeah.
If you look at the way Minnesota's structured with the DFL, 90% of the money that the DFL spends with, Alliance for a Better Minnesota, that's outside money coming in. They do the dirty work. They run the attack ads.
Right.
They do the things so the candidates don't have to. Republicans don't have any of that.
Right.
Republican big donors in this state are idiots. They're just morons. All they care about is their one issue or something like that. If they were smart, what they do is they'd set up an alliance for a even better Minnesota and do what the Democrats throw it in their face. Instead, they're obsessed with their own power.
Right.
And they're just fine losing and being right. So, again, the focus just isn't on win. Again, the endorsement process will hurt this because now they're all going to out-conservative each other, and none of them are going to have a plan to win. See, that's the thing about Trump. Trump gave the same message no matter what crowd he was in front of.
Yeah.
Republicans in this state are going to give one message to the 500 people in Rochester and then try to change it after that, and that won't work.
No new taxes, but we'll go in the back room with the Democrats and spend like crazy.
Right. I mean, it's just, you know, and they're not learning from who's winning. I mean, learn from... the people who've done it right.
See, and I've studied a lot of this. Let me just say this to all of you conservative governor candidates. I have studied this. I have studied how President Trump won, why he won, who they went after for voters, how they grew the base. You want to talk to me? You know where to find me. COMMSolutionsMN@gmail.com. That's COMMSolutionsMN@gmail.com. If anyone's serious about winning, you got to do something different. You can't do the same thing that you've done last time, the same thing that the last governor candidate did, the same thing that the last governor candidate before him did. It has to be different. President Trump did it differently. He had a different approach. It paid off. Learn from it. That's all I got to say about that.
I can't disagree with that, but I'm gonna share a couple of other states real quick.
Yeah.
Does Florida concern you a little?
No.
I'd like to say no, but let me throw out a little. I don't think it concerns me because I like the Republicans that have been elected in Florida recently. Mm-hmm. The Byron Danielses, the Anna Lunas. I think Rick Scott's pretty good.
Yeah.
But 26 will be a test of how red Florida really is.
Right.
Because that's the first election since 14 without Trump or DeSantis at the top of the ticket. Now, even though they're kind of friendly rivals, they're really so much alike, which is probably why they clash. You put they're like the two biggest alpha males in the country. And
right.
You put them together, they're going to clash. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess Florida doesn't worry me. I don't see them going Democrat.
I don't either, but I want to see. I want to see if it's Republican by 15 or 20, or if it's Republican by like 8.
Yeah,
that'll be an interesting thing to look for.
And we'll see who's running for governor.
Byron Daniels, I think, will probably be the person. If my rumor mill is,
I've heard that rumor
is right, and I think he'll win easy. But I mean. I do worry just a slightly if DeSantis isn't there. I'll tell you a state that worries me, but it's Texas. You've got the good old boys are still kind of in charge of that state.
Yeah.
Okay, the Dan Crenshaws, the John Cornyn's, the people like that, that I just don't really. They're so complacent there.
Yeah, I think tons of money is going into John Cornyn's campaign, but if you look at the polls, oh my goodness, Ken Paxton is ahead, and he's super popular. So I'm not worried about that per se. Do I worry because it's been on the Democrat hit list for a long time? Yeah, but they've never been able to get over the hump in Texas, and Ted Cruz won by a better margin this time than he did the previous time. So I think Texas is safe. Yeah, I'll worry about it, but the Democrats haven't really been able to field good candidates either, and that's helped. Arizona, I worry about.
Yeah, I can't figure out Arizona.
Yeah,
because Trump actually won it handily.
I
mean, it really wasn't all that close. Carrie Lake lost largely because nobody would fund her. But it does worry me. They have 2 Democratic senators, and I can't put my finger on why. They have a Democratic governor. Arizona is a state that I do scratch my head at. They have a lot of people who claim to be moderates, and then Kristen Sinema was a little bit of an exception, but for the most part, it's like they campaign moderate and they, one way and they govern another, So I think it is a state that worries me a little bit. I'll tell you, one of the states that's starting to concern me again, and I wasn't concerned about it. Now I am a little bit, is Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm really concerned about this Senate seat.
Huh.
David Osman should be down by 20.
Yes.
But the 2 strongest candidates the Republicans have aren't running against him. Brian Kemp and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I thought for sure was going to run.
Yeah.
And neither one of them are going to. And I don't know who's challenging him, and that should be an easy pickoff for the Republicans. I mean, Governor Kemp's approval ratings in the 60s.
Yeah.
Trump won it by a comfortable margin, not a huge one, but more than, of course, he outperformed the polls. That's not a shock.
Right.
But I don't understand what's changed in that state and why that has gone more purple. I'm just kind of baffled by.
Well, I mean, Atlanta has a lot to do with that.
Okay, obviously. But it was won easily by President Bush, by John McCain won it, even when he lost. Same thing with Mitt Romney. I know Trump won it 2020, Georgia's the one state where I do not believe the results.
Right.
But, let's just say it was a tie. I mean, what's caused that state to be? I'm not sure it's been figured out exactly. So, I mean,
yeah, I don't know either.
It's a state that I don't. Democrats have poured money into that state, poured it.
Yeah. And how you ever? Raphael Warnock's horrible, and I don't know how that guy won.
I don't know either. I couldn't tell you.
I mean that guy.
Yeah, he's just a knucklehead.
He's awful, But, I mean, then you turn around and you look at Brian Kemp, and they're still parading Stacey Abrams around everywhere, which I don't understand.
Yeah, talk about conceding elections. I'm still waiting for your 2018 concession speech.
Yeah.
And all the conspiracies that she wavered around there. I did notice she was at a fundraiser the other day, and on her dress, she added an extra dot. So she's really getting in shape. Okay, that's bad. So, yeah, I don't know. But it's just a head-scratching state. I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
I really don't. And of course, I always worry about a state like California. I mean, I worry that the biggest state in the country is continuously on the wrong track. I mean, California's a state I grew up dreaming about. Now it's a state I wouldn't go to if you hung me by a yard arm. So it's just the epitome of why liberalism fails.
Yes.
No middle class, elites that run the country or run the state, and they've run it and yet how's Gavin Newsom a national figure? You know what I'd ask Gavin Newsom? It's the same thing I'd ask that idiot in Illinois. I'd say, can you name anything you've done to make your state better?
Yeah.
Name anything.
Right.
What have you done to make your state better? I would just like to know that. Instead of hanging out in South Carolina, why don't you do your day job and make the state better?
Yeah.
I don't get it. So
yeah, Virginia, I'm a little worried about. That's always a very close call.
Yeah.
I think Winston Sears is great. I would like to see her.
And I'd like to see Glenn Youngkin run against Tim Kaine. I would really like to see that next year. I think he could take him out, I think.
I think he could.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that he wants to do it, but I think he's definitely the man if we're going to put our strongest people up. I mean, I don't know. I don't think the Senate's in a lot of jeopardy. North Carolina, I worry about. I'm glad Tom Tillis is out of there. I think he was a weak candidate.
Yeah.
I don't know who runs in his place, but I think Tillis he'd have been primaried for sure, and it just avoids a nasty thing that's going to happen. And I do really wonder what'll happen in Texas. I really wonder if Paxton wins.
Yeah.
I wonder, do the Democrats, does Cornyn endorse him?
I don't know. Does he get any Republican money if he wins the primary?
Well,
I don't know.
He could if he wins the primary. They're kind of obligated to support him to a degree. I don't know that Thune is Mitch McConnell. I don't know that he's going to look. Thune, you'd be crazy to destroy your own majority.
Right.
So I think you'd have no choice but to support him. I don't know who the Democrats are going to have. You'd have to call whoever wins the primary the favorite to win the general. Yeah. So the last time a Democrat won a statewide election, was it Ma Richards? I don't know who it was. Statewide. I mean, I know that they have some reps and they have a stranglehold on a few big cities, but I mean, statewide, I have no idea the last Democrat that was elected there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the Republicans want to have a civil war in the state, but it's a debate that we need to have.
Yeah.
Do you want the John Cornyns? Do you want the old Bush Cheney team?
Yeah. Well, in the state legislature, they keep putting guys in leadership that are putting Democrats into like committee chairmanship.
Yeah, who's running the party in Texas? Who's running it?
I don't know. But the guy that is
Governor Abbott doesn't seem to have much control over the party either.
He doesn't.
I'm not saying he's doing a bad job as governor. I'm just saying he doesn't seem to. Rick Perry never seemed to have control. I don't know. I don't know. It's. I just worry about the complacency in a place like Texas.
Yeah,
they just don't think they can lose. And it's kind of like, anybody can lose if you are bad enough to take your foot off the gas.
Absolutely. Look what happened in Alabama not too many election cycles ago.
That's true. I don't know how that happened, but, it took...
They ran a terrible candidate.
They did. It was Roy Moore, right?
Yep,
and he was ridden with scandal and... took a good old Tommy Tuberville, the old coach of Auburn, to win that seat. But I mean,
of course, that doesn't happen here in Minnesota. Yeah. They embrace the scandal, but AKA Nicole Mitchell.
Oh, Jesus. What's going on with that? Boy, she doesn't look good.
No.
I'll tell you what, I want to know when her Senate picture was taken. When was that taken? What year was that?
I don't know.
It's like Erin Murphy. She's had the same photo in the Senate roster since like 2001. It's no offense, but I mean, she looks her age now. And it's like, don't you have to retake a picture once every 25 years? Nicole Mitchell looks like she slept on the street last night.
Well, she probably slept in a cell. I don't know. Maybe not. I suppose she's out, isn't she? Until proven guilty.
I guess so.
Which is looking more and more like it could happen any day. But with my faith in the justice system, she may be out and running for another term. I don't know.
Well, and her stupidity of not cutting some sort of first-time offender deal. I mean, you've made this an issue by making it worse and dragging it out longer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just all right. Well, we covered the states we worry about. I do worry about. I'll tell you what I worry about. There's, I guess I kind of worry a little bit about. I don't understand why we can't move the ball in Colorado and New Mexico.
Yeah.
I don't get that. In New Mexico in particular, a border state, Colorado, a state that was reliably Republican for a while.
Yeah, well, so many crazy people moved in there from California.
Yeah, well, but why don't they recognize that the reason they left California, they're now bringing to Colorado?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
But, I mean, that's normal. We see that everywhere. Why do places like Minneapolis keep electing Democratic Socialists? Why do
we import refugees from the third world, promise them free stuff?
Oh,
I don't know why. I just it's just sad. Colorado's a great state.
Yeah.
A great state. It's being destroyed, of course, by the loony leftists, and I mean they've tried everything to destroy Republicans. Tried to take Trump off the ballot. They tried to force Lauren Brobart. They tried to redistrict her out of her seat.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just ugly in Colorado. And I would just really, God, I would love to see that state turn around.
Me too. It's a beautiful state.
I think it's a great state. It's just too bad. What's it going to take for out in the Northeast? Because I still get the feeling New Hampshire, Maine, they're so close.
Yeah.
Why do Connecticut, Rhode Island, why are they such left-wing states?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Why they're so like just they're willing to stay on that ship till it sinks.
But see, my answer to that is like, okay, if I want to go win Rhode Island,
yeah,
there's only a few thousand votes I need to move.
Right.
It's not like winning Pennsylvania, okay? I mean, same thing in New Hampshire and Maine. I know Trump came very close in both states and has won Maine too all three times. But it's like I think last week at 48 something in New Hampshire. And New Hampshire is very different from like Vermont for some reason. I don't know why, but I just feel like there's opportunity in those little states. And I think one win could spark something up there.
Right.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
I'm not wrong too often, but maybe there was that one time.
Yeah.
I can't think of when, but there was that one time. All right, Jay.
All right.
Whoa. That was a lot of stuff we covered.
Things are moving by faster and faster and faster. It's amazing.
All right, it's been a while since we've heard your words of wisdom. Styling, profiling, jet flying, limousine riding, wheeling, dealing, son of a gun. Jay, take it away.
Thank you, Andrew. Well, where do you begin, huh? There is so many things that we could talk about. We just scratched the surface this week, but yet, you know, each of those things kind of play off the other, and there is a battle going on right now. There's a battle going on to see who is going to endure. Are we going to grow weary? Are they going to grow weary? We need to figure this out, and we need to figure it out quick, you know, because if we don't, I think that we're going to slide backwards. The next time that there's Democrat control of this country, they're going to pick up right where they left off. The next time there's Democrat control in this state, they're going to pick up right where they left off. We can't allow that. We cannot allow that. You know, we're not fighting against normal ideas here. These are like supercharged, bad, spiritually bad, demonic ideas that were, you know, rulers and authorities in high places that they want to create a world that they are happy with. Well, resembling anything that America ever has been or is now. But they're trying to. They're trying to push the envelope. And they use all of these different tactics that they've been planning this a long time. But until we get rid of the expert class, till we get rid of the class of I need to have freebies, I need free college, I need this, I need that from the government, that I deserve it. I deserve to move into having a position in management, even though I've never done anything in my life. We have to stop and think for a minute, what are we creating? Because if we don't answer the call, if we don't step up, if we don't begin to stand against these things and provide an alternative, if we don't speak out, we're in a lot of trouble. So we can't bungle this one. We can't fumble the ball when we're this close to our own end zone. We have to fight back. We have to move forward. We have to figure this out. And we can. We absolutely can. And I ask that you join us in that fight. Get a hold of us at commsolutionsmn@gmail.com. That's commsolutionsmn@gmail.com. And let us know you're in the fight. Let's work together. Let's get this done. Let's tell the Democrats that, hey, America is not for sale, and we are not going to lay down and take it. There's lots to do, and we need your help. We love you, Minnesota, but now it's your turn to get to work.